Welcome to Newspaper Review. This morning we have a guest already seated in the studio. He is Mr. Bruno Ibekilo. He's a lecturer at Chukwuemeka Odumegu Ojukwu University, Ibadan, and also a public affairs commentator. Glad to have you in the studio, sir.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, we are going to begin with looking at the stories making headlines on ABS website. You know, the way we do it here, this program is audience participatory for your information. And of course, we have our phone lines that will be displayed on the screen for you to use it and call and make your own opinion count on any issue of importance to you. All right, stories making the headlines on ABS website. The first story that says Anambra government weighs into alleged issue of underage marriage involving girl and man from Ihiala and Ozobolo communities. ABGA senatorial candidate Emeka targets technical-driven industrial centers in Nigeria. Idigo Dynasty Aguleri announces royal passage of Igwe Christopher Idigo. Serap sues power minister over default in electricity project contracts. All right, let's begin with that first story that has been trending on the social media throughout last week, a marriage between a child and a man. You know, anybody that is below 18 is considered a child, and the story has been trending. So what's your take? Let's begin from there, actually. The state government has actually waded into the matter.
Yes, the state government is doing the right thing, but you will recall that child marriage is not new in Nigeria. Remember the former governor and a serving senator who had to marry a child of 13. But in any case, it is a very serious problem. It's an indication of, one, poverty, because poverty doesn't just narrow itself to lack of money, but ignorance and other forms of lackages can be attributed to poverty. Ignorance in forms of lack of, as it applies to lack of education.
You know,
But the important thing is that if the parents of the child is educated and the man in question is educated, there's no way you can look at a child of 13 and talk of marriage.
You see, that's where
and not just old. The man is also, I think he has a dementia or something.
Yes,
it's not just that the man is old.
Because this story is still developing. I'm actually following the story, and you can actually get a whole lot to the story. The girl in question is not even 13, according to 15. The story yesterday. She's 17, and she even has a child.
If at 17 we are talking about marriage, yes, it is bad because the girl in question is a minor, because the girl in question is less than 18. So they can afford to wait till 18, but the age of reproduction for a woman starts from around that kind 18, 17 for some.
It's just that, like I said, there's a whole lot of sides to the story, and we will still find out the real truth, because right now, a lot of stories making the round the saying the girl is not even happy that they're taking the man away from her.
If she's not happy, it is a forced marriage.
And she also said it's not forced.
It is
they've been
illegal.
dating for a while.
Yes, they can be dating for a while, and for you to date a younger person less than 18 is equally a crime of its own.
And now, his friends actually posted this on Facebook for they were not expecting what's really happening now. They posted it like, hey, our friend is getting married, and it was cool. But
trying to share good news.
No, the guy is
the letter turned out so.
Anyway, the most important thing is that Anambra government has waded into the matter. Let's wait and watch and see the outcome of the whole
The child
event.
rights has said that the girl should be protected.
Yes, she must be up to 18.
That is what the government is trying to do.
All right, let's see. A very sad one here. Idigo Dynasty Aguleri announces royal passage of Igwe Christopher Idigo. There's this song by the collector. They say, Onye Folota Emanfuyechi. I remember I ran into Your Majesty at Roban recently during the festive period, and the way he was cracking jokes with all the people in that place, all those girls selling, it's a very sad one indeed. Because I was with my daughter, and we came out, my daughter had to see the man and say, Mommy, see that traditional, it was so fun. Somebody that is here today tomorrow may not be here.
It was strange. You know?
It is a lesson for all of us. It's not just a lesson, a reminder. We're all behind him. We'll get there one day. So the important thing is that you live your, somebody said, you live your life as if today will be the last.
And, Christians call us pilgrims. We are on pilgrimage. We pray that the good Lord will be with the family at this trying period.
And give them the strength.
It was touching because, like you said, the last time I saw him was at Robin Pax Pharmacy when he came in. The normal, usual him laughing and, it's all good.
It's well. All right, let's run. APGA senatorial candidate Emeka targets technical driven industrial centers in Nigeria. He's speaking. Peradventure, he wins the seat. This is what I'm going to do for all the states. He's going to do it virtually all the states.
He's talking about his senatorial
yes, his senatorial district.
I'll give you one thing. The drivers of change in every economy are industrial clusters containing small and medium-scale enterprises. You can't move without it. So once you try to develop a backbone, an infrastructural backbone for these small and medium-scale enterprises, there you go. Most of the companies you are seeing today in China started outsourcing to China. And they are outsourcing to these small and medium-scale enterprises. That is the catalyst of growth in China. That is the catalyst of growth in India. Today, the whole of Silicon Valley in America is outsourcing to India. And even today, immigration from India to America are highly skilled labor. So if you're talking about remittances to India, it doesn't come in trickles like it's coming to Nigeria, even when Nigerians are remitting heavily back home. So what he's trying to do in a state like our place here, it will push us. Presently, like the governor rally said, Anambra is the 17th biggest economy in Africa. So, like he said, if Anambra is a state, is a country in Nigeria, in Africa.
Oh well,
these are the things that will move us. Agriculture will move us too, but this is the major driver. If only they will provide infrastructure.
All right, we pray the dream comes true.
It will come true.
All right, the last but not the least in that website is Serap sues power minister over default in electricity project contract. Nigerians, we're still talking about electricity today. There are some people that don't have, there are people that have light, and so much issues surrounding electricity in this country.
What Serap is doing is one of the most important things society should evolve into. Civil society culture. With NEDACO fighting military dictatorship, once we had democracy, it seems as if there was no civil society again. What we had were NGOs trying to get financing from international agencies and government. Okay? Now, with these changes in the society, there is a great need for societies like, for groups like Serap to come out. Ask yourself the last time you actually paid for what you have consumed if you're not a metered customer. The last time you think you have paid for what you consumed if you're not a metered customer. Now tell me, if meter is a product to be sold in the market, can somebody be complaining to you that we are having difficulties in procuring them? So you see, we have been boxed into a monopoly, okay? So all the problems we are having is because people who are in these sections of in the value chain of energy are monopolists for the area they are controlling. So the greatest feature of a monopolist is inefficiency.
All right, let's run. The Daily Times is the next paper for review.
Right, stories making the headlines on the Daily Times this morning. The big one, on certainty, CCT begins a Nugget's trial today. Suspended CJN tribunal disagree over continuation of trial. Stakeholders seek soft landing for embattled CJN. On top of that story, FG links 2018 budget on the performance to late passage. Says it released 1.2 trillion for capital projects in power, rails, others. February 16 poll, Afenifere Ohaneze Ndibo Pandef NEF endorsed Atiku. Impeachment threat, Lagos APC leaders broker peace between Ambode lawmakers. Boko Haram plotting to win public sympathy, Nigerian army. Electricity, Serap 6 court order compelling Fashola to name contract defaulters. Well, let's look at the big story. Uncertainty as CCT begins on Megan's trial today, and of course, stakeholders are seeking a soft landing for the embattled CJN.
On the issue of the CJN, we are all becoming lawyers in our different enclaves. CJN is relying on the grounds of outcome from an appeal. Okay? But the first thing you have to ask yourself is the issue of jurisdiction in law. The issue of jurisdiction is yet to be determined. Okay? So, and in absence of establishment of jurisdiction, in my thinking, I'm thinking that what they are doing is not so proper. Are you getting me? Now, the matters concerning the NJC as a person, NJC being an office recognized in the Constitution, you have the Judicial Service Commission, the Independent Electoral Service Commission, and the Civil Service Commission. These three commissions are autonomous and independent. So the Civil Service Commission, which the presidency is not even part of, but ahead of everybody, now in this case as an arm of government, the interference into the judiciary is unconstitutional. The Constitution has stipulated the guidelines with which you can remove the CJN. And to buttress that, the NJC has queried Tanko.
You know, these things have been clarified over and over again,
yes,
and they still went ahead.
What we are doing in this country is that we are now becoming selective of the court order to respect. There's an order mandating the release of El Zakzaki. There's an order mandating the release of Badasuki. Why are we not complying to these orders? The timing and the pace of action towards bringing up Onoge's case looks as if it is politically motivated. But let us see how the thing rolls by, okay? Lawyers have tried to avoid the court for 2 days to show a kind of a passive resistance, okay? Some people say that they are not, tied to the NBA action, that they have contract with their clients to appear in court. But in all, I think the two persons should just step aside in the interest of justice, because once integrity is at stake, nobody will have that confidence in the outcome of what will come from that bench.
All right, let's run. Daily Sun newspaper is next on our review line this morning with a bold headline there, 2019, how winners will emerge. That's coming from INEC. And up there we have 2019 again. Federal government plots to intimidate more judges. That's allegation from Wike there. We also have a coalition of PANDEF, NEF, Ohaneze, Afenifere adopt Atiku. 2019 Nigeria votes 12 days to February 16. More women group votes for Buhari, Oshimbajo. Of course, everybody has a right to choose who to vote for. And down here we have Atiku, Southeast Town Unions knock Obiano. Declare we are ready to defend Igbo position. Tinubu, APC leaders stop Ambode's impeachment. Helicopter crash. Adeboye holds special thanksgiving for Oshimbajo. Buhari commends VP for carrying on with campaign. All right, let's see the big story there, 2019, how winners will emerge, INEC.
INEC is, they've been in the job, and they are telling you, forget this idea of this bold front headlines, as if INEC is now saying this is the way this person. But I'm thinking what they are looking at there should be on issues of the procedure. Today they say that the results will be transmitted manually, and again that the collation officers at lower levels or lower tiers of the collation are not expected to declare results, and including the press too. So that there's going to be a manual transmission of the results to the National Collation Center, which give and take will take more than a day. Okay? So, but you have seen what is happening today. The electoral law failed in the National Assembly, where we would have had electronic transmission. of results. So, but taking it manually, maybe if anything happens to the results, which is outside what you're having as announced at the polling units, you may now be advised to go to court, okay?
All right, let's see another story here. In a helicopter crash, Adeboye holds special thanksgiving for Shimbajo, and Buhari commends VP for carrying on with campaign. You know, that's unfortunate.
It's an unfortunate situation, and I don't expect that politicians should politicize this. Auto crashes, air crashes, helicopter crashes can happen at any moment. Yes, and it's a very sad one, and we are thanking God that the Vice President survived it. The Thanksgiving is not unexpected, because I saw the video, and it is something word of praising God for coming out of that unscratched. What if the thing went on fire? Okay, so it's something to thank God, and then a warning too about the maintenance culture in our society. Okay, the maintenance culture in our society was that helicopter certified airworthy before taking off. Okay, you are these planes are most vulnerable at the point of taking off and at the point of landing. These are when the major parts of the plane are put at test. These things should be checked. To my surprise, the day I went to this Anambra State Vehicle Testing Center established by the government here, I was marveled. Is this thing in Anambra here? People pay for vehicle tests, pay for roadworthiness, without actually going there, because we all don't have time. What the state government put in this place? If you subject your car to test there, at the end of the day, the certification will be printed out. Mine went for the test. Carbon emission, shock absorber, lights, brake, everything. That thing you are paying for roadworthiness is included there. To my surprise, I didn't know that this kind of a thing was really existing. Please, let's find a way to educate people to be going there. Testing. If this plane was tested to be found airworthy, and this thing happened, somebody must be asked questions.
All right. The next paper for review now is the Punch newspapers.
All right, stories making the headlines. The big one, helicopter crash. AIB sends investigators to site. Osibanjo says God, Adeboye's prayers delivered him. We were lucky helicopter didn't burst into flames, Ojudu. On top of that story, NSC slams 429.5 million naira fines on 38 firms. Afenifere Ohanese Nef Pandep orders adopt Atiku as contentious candidate. Ambode will no longer be removed. Coming from Tinubu. Elections will be influenced by people's free will, not money. APC. Army deploys senior officers. One killed, several injured in Oyo APC PDP campaign rallies. Court acts to disqualify Wike for alleged forgery. One dies as NURTW chair escapes murder in Lagos. 15 die in Ogun auto crashes. Falana writes AGF asks federal government to withdraw case against Onagan. Budget delayed passage threatens foreign investment, says NECA. Well, let's quickly look at this big story. Ambode will no longer be removed. That's coming from Tinubu. Because we know what's been happening to the governor of Lagos State.
Jagaban has said it. That Ambode will no longer be removed. And we are all witnesses to what is happening. If he says Ambode will be removed, Ambode will be removed. So the Jagaban has said it. But what it shows is that democracy is still alive. Okay, when people we rise to disagree and end up agreeing. Okay, that disagreement, in my thinking, is arising from what? Differences in positions in thinking, all supposedly in the interest of the state. But if it's about what is going on and what is not going on under the bridge and under the tables, that one is for them in Lagos State. Lagos State is the center of excellence. And I'm telling you, there are certain things Lagos State has gone beyond.
All right, let's quickly also look at these elections will be influenced by people's free will, not money. That's coming from APC. How can we even rely on that story?
It is what is expected. Money and vote buying shouldn't be the order of the day. The privacy expected at the polling units should be monitored by security agencies. But we've had claims and counter-claims about people going in to cast their vote and indicating where they have casted their vote to be sure of the money they are going to collect afterwards. People are saying that money is not flowing this time around, that they are waiting to use it to buy vote at the polling center. We cannot say anything around there until we wait and see.
All right.
My PVC is ready.
All right. The Guardian newspapers is the last but not the least for this morning's review. We have a bold headline there, and it's on stock market investors lose over 3 trillion to political intrigues. With riders there, how on August removal worsened situation, and operators hinge market confidence on peaceful polls. You know, up there we have over 1 million students may not vote as ASU strike persists. Riders, their action not targeted at 2019 elections. Union will call off strike today, says Minister. Government intervention in tertiary institutions hits 727 billion naira. We also have a nation mired in waste as multi-billion naira properties rot away. I think that's the much we have on this paper. Let's see this big one. Stock market investors lose over 3 trillion to political intrigues. I don't know how true this is.
Okay, the safety net there is that they said it is over 3 trillion. It is quite over 3 trillion. But one of the major, that is why you see that when we say about political economy, the economy is tied to the politics of that economy. Once the presidency makes a mistake, or any strong arm of government makes a mistake, okay, the shock will be transmitted to the markets, and the capital market is one of them. Once there is a political tension in any society, the shock or expected shocks will be transmitted to capital market, money market, even factor market, where people may start to leave the country.
All right, let's quickly look at the ASU strike now before we round up, for want of time. You know,
you say that the minister said that the strike will be called off today.
Okay, is it the minister that should say when the strike will be called? So union, okay, the minister said
that the strike will be called off today. We as members of the union, we've not been called to a meeting about calling off the strike. The minister did not ask us to embark on a strike. So, and he has been saying this over the time. So it's an indication that this one may not even work. The union will come back home, do a zonal meeting, do a national meeting.
You know, as is written here that the intervention has hit 727 billion naira. How true is that?
That is their own statement. We'll all go back home after the national meeting and the zonal meeting, and then we'll meet at the branches, because before ASU goes on strike, the branches will meet, zone will meet, and before the national body will meet. And this is to show that everybody
is carried along.
So, as they have said that from there, the message will trickle down, and so that we will now say, okay, we have gotten at least so and so, that we are going back to the classroom.
We pray that the strike
definitely not today.
We pray that the strike should be called off, you know, for the interest of our kids staying at home at this time. And that's the much we can take on our newspaper review for today. We thank you so much for watching. We also like to appreciate in a very special way Mr. Bruno Ibekilo, a lecturer at Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Bariam, and of course a public affairs commentator. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.